Mrs. Kennedy was in the car, as we said, with President Kennedy. He slumped into her lap, and she is said to be bearing up reasonably well, stunned, but not in a state of shock as yet. She was seen crying in the corridors of the hospital. Bill Stinson, an assistant to Governor Connolly, says he talked to the governor in the hospital operating room. He says that the governor was shot just below the shoulder blade in the back. Stinson said he asked Connolly how it happened, and he said, "I don't know, I guessed from the back." They got the president too. Stinson said that he asked Connolly if there's anything he could do, and he replied, "Just take care of Nellie for me." Nellie is Governor Connolly's wife. Governor Connolly could very possibly have been shot in the back with the assassin's bullets still coming from the front of the car. He rode in a small jump seat in the center of the back of the specially built presidential limousine, specially built for such public performances, such as this. Matter of fact, the car is so specially built that the president sits higher than he would in a normal automobile, so that the crowd can get a good look at him. But as it turns out today, an assassin could also get a good shot at him. Further information here. The Catholic priest who was performing the last rites, Father Huber, Dallas, said that he did not believe that the president was dead at that time. The priest left the emergency operating room at Parkland Hospital and walked out of the hospital. There has been just a moment. That information does not directly bear on the condition of President Kennedy. It has come from Kansas City, Missouri, where our affiliate KCMO says that Mrs. Bess Truman has told a KCMO that former President Truman is too upset to comment on today's tragic developments. As we said, there has been no word at all on the official word from the doctors at Parkland Hospital or the White House staff on the extent of the president's wounds. Mrs. Kennedy is in the hospital, as we said, and so is Mrs. Connolly. The governor's wife, or indeed most members of the White House staff. He was carrying a large staff with him on this tour to Texas. It is believed that a gap in the motorcade perhaps saved Vice President Johnson from being a target of the assassination today. The gap opened up in the motorcade just before the assassin's bullets rang out. The two priests who were with Kennedy say that he is dead of his bullet wounds. That seems to be as close to official as we can get at this time. They did see the president just a few moments ago, and this is the bulletin that is just cleared from Dallas, that the two priests who were in the emergency room where President Kennedy lay after being taken from the Dallas street corner where he was shot, say that he is indeed dead. Our man Dan Rather in Dallas reported that about 10 minutes ago. There's another picture taken just moments, split moment before the assassination attempt here. Let's see if we can get a real close-up of this picture that has just arrived. It shows a smiling Mrs. Kennedy and the president in the in the back seat of the car. Mrs. Connolly and Governor Connolly. You cannot see behind Mrs. Connolly. The assassin took dead aim, and he apparently got the president with the first shot in the head, and then Governor Connolly with the next two shots. As we've reported to you, the New York Stock Exchange has closed as a nation. These reports are true. Prepare us to go into mourning. The stock exchange closed after prices began tumbling as word spread rapidly through the floor of the exchange of this event in Dallas. The